My favorite Ranger. Wow. That is a hard one. You know, I like these players on different levels for who they are. And we talked about Henrik Lundqvist. Henrik Lundqvist has been around now 10 years. So he's a veteran that has played a long time. He is now married with kids. And so I have a special relationship with him. And we can talk about a lot of those things. I also love JT Miller, who's 21, and he's still trying to mature and learn how to play and learn how to be a good person and learn how to be a good teammate. But I really like him. I really like him because he's got a big heart and he's still learning. I love a guy like Dominic Moore, who's been through some real personal tragedy. His wife died a year after he was married back a few years ago, and persevered through all that, and came back and played, and is a really good human being. And so, you know, there's not, who's my favorite? I don't know. I love Zuccarello. McDonough's, he's a Minnesota kid. I got a special place in my heart for him and the captain. So, I have an enjoyment level and a relationship with a lot of these players that aren't necessarily the same with each player. And so I really can't say I have one. Most of them I enjoy being around. They're good people.
Who is the team clown? Who goes off the most? I mean, they all work hard.
Yeah, Zuccarello. Zuccarello is. He is... And that was such an important signing for Glenn Sather to get him signed at the trade deadline. Because he's not only a great player, I love the way he plays. He's got so much courage the way he plays. He's such a smart player. He's so unselfish. He doesn't care if he gets the accolades. He'd rather set up somebody for a goal than score one himself. But in practice, now Lundqvist hasn't been there for a while. But Henrik Lundqvist hates to get scored on in practice or in games. He hates it. Drives him crazy. And so when Zuccarello scores on him in practice, he's just yapping at him all the time. And it's an ongoing feud between the two of them. Every practice is the same. And Zuccarello is also like that with the opposition in games as well. I mean, he doesn't take anything from anybody. He's a gutsy player and he's yapping at the opposition. But he has got a magnetic personality, and he is loved by his teammates. And he's a real reason when we talk about teams, he's one of those players that everybody just loves and it kind of brings the team together. So I would say Zuccarello out of all of it.
Next question.
Did you have one more?
Yeah, Bill, besides hockey, then, what else are you passionate about? Like, are there any causes or anything that you really involve yourself with?
I've been really, I've been fortunate that Madison Square Garden has this program called the Garden of Dreams, and so there's a lot of these kids that haven't gotten a break in life. The Garden does a spectacular job of getting them to games and helping them out and fundraisers and to give these kids a chance. And some of them are sick. Some of them just come from broken families. Some of them come from very poor families. So it's a myriad of different issues that these kids have had. And so, and because I'm around there a lot, and they come up to the booth, and so a lot of these kids that I've met over the years, I'm still in contact with. And a lot of them have beaten cancer, and they have my phone number, and they can call me at any time. And I'm really lucky to have those relationships. So the Garden of Dreams, which is not me, it's Madison Square Garden, allows us to get a chance to meet some of these kids. So that is something that is really satisfying to me. Outside of that, I love to golf, and I love having friends outside of the sport as well that I respect, like Peter. Been fortunate to know Peter, and I have a lot of different interests that I try to fit in when I can, and of course, my family is got 2 grandkids now that are pretty special. Sure.
Cam Talbot,
Mm-hmm.
he's made a pretty strong case that he should not be going back to the bench.
Mm-hmm.
Just to play devil's advocate here for a sec, from an organizational standpoint, Rangers, I'm speaking of, you can make the argument that for the future, they may be better off trading Lundqvist because of what they can get for him and his salary cap situation. Do you think Cam Talbot has made a strong enough case where he should be in the lineup?
I'll say this. Cam Talbot went from being an outstanding backup to now proving, I think, or coming close to proving, that he could be a number 1 goaltender in the National Hockey League. That's a big move, and it's like asking an assistant coach to suddenly become a head coach. I was an assistant coach in the National Hockey League. There's a big difference. There's a different circumstance for pressure, for decision making, for quick thinking, for leadership. It's brings on a whole new area that until you go through that, you're not sure if you have that ability. With Cam, he looks now like he's gotten through that. The next part of all that is playoffs. The playoffs are a different season. It's a different game. It's a different mentality. And you'll see players that are really good players in the regular season, and when it gets to the playoffs, they don't produce as well. I'm going to give Rick Nash a pass because I don't think he was healthy enough last year. I'm talking about healthy players. There's also those players that don't necessarily have great regular seasons, but when they get to the playoffs, they treat it. Claude Lemieux is a prime example of a player that was okay in the regular season. I got to the playoffs. He was a playoff MVP and won 3 cups, I think. So we don't know about Cam Talbot on that level yet, and you never know until somebody gets a chance. You got to give them a chance. I would not even think about trading Henrik Lundqvist. Plus, he's got a no trade, but he is too well established, too good, and too competitive to even think about that right now. Because this is a team that is built to win a Stanley Cup soon.
Is he going to be back, though?
Is Henrik going to be back? I would say Henrik is probably going to play sometime in the next week.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll probably get. I think they'd like to get him 5 games or 6 games if they could before the playoffs start. Now the question is he going to be able to get back to his level of play in that shorter period of time? What he has been doing throughout most of this is skating and working out and keeping himself in some sort of condition, not at the highest level until he just got cleared to start practicing. So I would expect him to be ready to go when the playoffs start.
Joe, do you have any suggestions as to how high school players should deal with the challenges of the academic life versus the hockey schedule?
I would say that you can do both. There's no question that to excel at anything, it takes an extraordinary amount of work. I mean, some people have God-given talent, and that's either in athletics or in other areas of life. But there have been plenty of cases of excellent athletes that were also excellent students. And so it's really a matter of just deciding that, that's the way to do it, if you can. Now, granted, not everybody has the same talent or ability to excel. And I think, certainly as parents, you have to recognize that. I mean, you can only push and encourage so much if there's the ability level is to a certain level. I mean, all you want is effort, right? That's all you want. You want your kids to, if you're going to decide you want to do something, just do it as the best you can, as hard as you can, and see where that takes you. But I don't think there's any question that you can excel in school and excel in a sport if that's what you want to do. What's your name? Jonathan, hi. Maybe sometime. It's been a pretty good start for him, hasn't it? And he's just 20 years old. And this is someone that every time you see him, he's got a big smile on his face. He's so happy to be here, and it's been quite a start for him. He's allowed 1 goal in 2 games, right? I don't think he'll get a chance in the real near future unless there's more injuries. But I think what he's done is he's proven to people that he's got a chance, right? And that's all you want to do. You want to prove to somebody that, give me a chance, and I think I can get something done. That's what's happened to him. And so, how good he gets from this point, we'll see. But he's certainly off to a great start.
One more question. Who do you think is the best Ranger so far?
The best Ranger so far is Rick Nash. This year, he has been great all season long. Even when he has a few games where he hasn't scored goals, he kills penalties. He plays against the other team's best players. He scores goals. He'll block shots. He does everything and more that they ask of him in every aspect of the game. Penalty killing, power play, even strength. You name it, he does it. He's been great.
Okay, on that note,
Is that it?
one more question.
As many as you need.
What's your thought on player safety with all the concussions and high hits and everyone getting injured and stuff? What do you think? Is the league going in the right way of changing the game?
They are. At times it seems like it's been slow because there's certain hits that happen in a game that I would like to just see the league really come down hard on the players that are cheap hits. When the player's facing the boards, the hard hit from behind, I think they can come down harder on the players. These slew foots where you take out a player's skates when he's unsuspecting is extremely dangerous. And so the league is doing a really good job at studying the results of these concussions and trying to get more. It's still in its infancy in all sports of trying to figure out the damage that is done with this. But they're being proactive. They're not just looking the other way when these things happen. And so I think the rules will continue to readjust, and I think the suspensions will reflect, how the league feels about it. But they're getting much better than it used to be. Sure, I got plenty of time.
Who's the best Ranger of all time?
The best Ranger of all time. Well, Wayne Gretzky played for the Rangers. Brian Leach is a Hall of Famer. Rod Gilbert's a Hall of Famer. There's a lot of them. But if you just ask me the best Ranger in general, I have to go with Wayne Gretzky because he's regarded as the best player of all time. Brian Leach wasn't bad either.
Okay, well, when a lot of your answers, we heard about culture in hockey having humility and hard work and good sportsmanship as being such a central part of it. And I think everyone here would agree you embody that. And we really can't thank you enough for coming tonight. It's been a real privilege for us to have you here.
Thanks. It's been a lot of fun, and I thank you for having me. Good luck to everybody. Oh, whatever you want me to do.
My humility was the living value that I couldn't remember before. I think we can agree humility definitely applies.
Your glasses?
765-803.
Hold on. 765.
What's that? Need an investigation.
That's my wife.
Need an investigation.
Hey, Bill,
Don't, she is not happy. Do not do this.
765-827.
Elizabeth.
Are you good?
all right, so it goes to Bill and
827.
You got it.
She's gonna kill me though.